going to be the first time that most of these players have played each other on the new patch, and definitely the first time they've played each other in tournament on the new patch. And of course, we are seeing Krayzie try out some new stuff, and we'll see if he sticks with it. We'll see if he sticks with it. He does still like his Catwoman. Catwoman plays pretty close to the same. She's still a great character.
So why don't you tell us what exactly is different with Catwoman? Obviously, her jump 2 now has a little bit more of a horizontal angle so that it doesn't hit quite as low in the jump in, but she has other changes as well.
Right. A few of the biggest changes are, first of all, the fact that her cartwheel out of her cat stance, that's one of her main launchers in the corner, and it was one of her main pressure tools in the corner. It used to be plus, and now it's actually minus, so you can no longer use that tool in the same way. On top of that, her her meter burn cat dash. So that used to be one of her best tools for getting in on zoning.
Because it had armor.
Right. The second hit of it, as soon as you meter burn it, boom, had multiple hits of armor, I think.
Not anymore.
Yeah, now none at all, so you're going to have to use that differently. They also just essentially lowered her damage overall. They raised the
she did a lot of damage, man. A lot of damage. And I feel like everyone was distracted by Adam's damage being so ridiculous that they're like, her damage kind of went under the radar. But I am glad they kind of toned it down a little bit because she hurt. She hurt a lot.
She did, especially in the corner. Her damage was just ridiculous. It was easily at Black Adam levels, at Superman levels. But yeah, you're totally true. And Krayzie himself actually said that. Why does nobody talk about that? You are totally true.
You're so true, man.
But we are not seeing Catwoman at all. We are seeing...
No, and I respect the fact that he is trying to stick with Supergirl throughout this entire tournament.
And actually, I think Supergirl can win this zoning battle. As long as he just sits there and shoots straight lasers, he should be able to recover in time to win the trades.
Yeah, but the problem is that laser still does technically have to recharge.
That is true, but of course, every single time that you actually land one, it recharges essentially enough to shoot another laser, just because there is the knockdown time. That is the biggest advantage of her projectiles, is the fact that they knock down. And of course, they're really good on Flocko. But right now, Flocko controlling the entire pace with that zoning.
Shot in the face. Speaking of the pace. Ooh. We're like wordsmiths. Bars. Oh man.
Ooh, that is not even a real wake up.
That's not even safe either.
Yeah, no punish though. So pretty good for Flocko. Oh, sets up the target acquired. Wasn't quite able to combo into it. Sometimes the projectile can combo into it.
I love the sound that her breath makes.
I love the, against certain characters, the block stun of it. It sounds very funny because they make this, in fact, I think Cyborg is one of them. He goes,
Yeah. Oh, nothing will ever be, wow, we're doing a lot of reminiscing tonight, simply because of the fact that SoCal has also a lot of history with some of those guys. For instance, SoCal Regionals, when it was, when we had 16-bit commentating with Cabal, spinning jacks.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I miss that so much. Man, I miss 16-bit so much behind the mic. He was by far one of my favorite commentators.
Or you can always catch him on the Watchtower stream.
You can. You can.
Ooh, and we are going to be seeing a switch back to Catwoman.
Yeah, that was actually a very handily placed defeat on Krayzie's side.
It was. I don't think he was comfortable enough in the counter zoning matchup. Again, he's still relatively new to Supergirl, but Flocko 100% knew how to play that matchup. He really took control of it. But now Krayzie using his licorice whip Catwoman.
You would say licorice.
Oh, just barely missed it. So there we go. That's exactly one of the changes. That was a range where Krayzie had it muscle memoried in his head that was going to hit and it was going to punish the trait summon. But since it has just a little bit shorter of a vertical range downwards, it completely whiffed, and Krayzie took a good amount of damage for that.
All right, using the trait, getting some good damage. Push block coming out of Flocko as he continues to zone.
And that's actually one of the other big changes that I didn't mention. I think it was the last really big change I didn't mention was her trait is no longer a true wake up, so she has to take a really big risk every single time she wakes up. When meter burn back 3, still amazing. No doubt about it.
Yeah, her back 3 is still pretty much the same. I mean, it is the same.
yeah. I mean, technically, I guess when you whiff it, it has a larger hitbox at the very end, but it's still good as for what it was. I mean, really, you should have known how to punish it by now anyway.
True, but I mean, some characters just didn't really have the best options to punish it as it was.
That's true, yeah. Definitely characters will have some higher damage options. Ooh, nice conversion. And very risky to use that meter burn cat dash as an anti-zoning tool just because, again, it has no more armor.
Yeah, and one thing we're actually seeing a lot now as an adaptation to the changes.
Oh, right over it! No way! No way! That is the second week in a row that we've seen the Doomba go underneath somebody. I cannot believe that. Oh, what a... The Doombas have just not been working out, and yeah, we're definitely going to need a clash here, but Krayzie has such a huge meter lead. This should almost definitely be going down to chip life for Pretty Flocko. Now the real question is, how is Krayzie going to get it? Meter burn cat dash used to be the closeout tool, but it doesn't have any armor anymore. Regardless.
Oh, but a jump too will do it. Yeah, but one thing I was saying before we both got hyped for the Doomba missing was the fact that we're probably going to see trait a lot more in just raw combos now, simply because it was a tool that we saw Catwoman players generally save for Wake Up because it was safe, and even plus in cases with meter, that now it's just kind of a pure damage tool.
Right. It's also going to be really good for throwing out checks. So, for instance, if you throw out your back two or your down one as Catwoman and you think that it might hit, you can just throw out trait. Trait's going to be safe on block. You can spend meter to make it plus. And if it hits, it's almost the same amount of damage as a full combo. So it's a little bit less risky than you'd normally see. So I think we'll be seeing a lot for that. And of course for a combo ender, because yeah, the damage on trait is like 250 damage.
Yeah,
it's like a full
really
combo.
good, yeah.
But it looks like Flocko sticking with Cyborg. I was talking to Flocko a little bit earlier, and he was saying that he wasn't really sure if he was really comfortable sticking with just Cyborg. He was thinking that he might, to like truly compete at the highest level, need to pick someone else, at least alongside Cyborg. So I was talking about it. I said, you know what, the patch just came out. You should see how things go. And looks like right now he's still seeing how things are going.
Yeah, I mean, things are going pretty well for him, though. It is one. Oh, that could have been a huge punish. It is 1-on-1. He's doing quite well. But I did notice that his player card was actually riddled with Red Hood ornaments, if you will. So it is possible that he's been playing a lot of Red Hood.
But right now, you know, he's actually doing fine in this matchup. He's doing a ton of chip. Krayzie is not using the cat evade, and he could have been avoiding so much of that chip.
And that is the life bar down of which Krayzie was ahead at one point.
Yeah, entirely just from, almost entirely from chip, actually. Oh, great meter burn roll out of the corner. That was perfectly timed. And now he's already taken himself back to the other corner.
Oh, and I like the idea of trying to jump and then use the instant air fireball to kind of stay in the air and mix up his opponent, but it did not work.
Still a good attempt, and now I like the fact that he's throwing out the trait. I feel like there are actually a few situations where he could have thrown out trait a little bit more freely, but now, yeah, he's using all of his setups, and Krayzie hasn't really even touched him in quite a while.
Yeah, this is also mainly because of the new change. She can't just cat dash in anymore.
That is true. She still does have some options, and I think...
As I say that, he does it, but
yeah.
I mean...
Do it anyway, but he did it from pretty close up right there. Oh, gets opened up, and a good, very quick clash.
Superman, I'd stop you.
Have you had your shots?
I think the idea right there was that he wanted to just try and keep the momentum, keep the space. Didn't want her to, you know, take to the corner, take it to an Oki situation. Ooh, Krayzie could have flashed, but instead Flocko just jumping back, and now he wants to finish it with just projectiles, just with chip. Not lit.
Again,
use that meter.
So that is not a true wake up. It's just not.
Yeah, it's just.
It's also unsafe, and Krayzie actually has not really been able to deal with it at all so far. He's blocked it. He hasn't punished it. He got hit by it once.
Maybe, I guess he's just not ready.
And that's the uppercut. It's just, I don't know. Which is funny because in Injustice 1, Krayzie actually played a little bit of Cyborg on the side.
Yeah, Cyborg is one of Krayzie's favorite characters. He actually plays him a decent amount in Injustice 2 also, but I guess he's just not ready for it. It's just one of those things where you're sitting there, you're probably waiting for your opponent to try the real wake up, which is the command grab.
Right.
But then suddenly the uppercut comes out, you block it, and you're like, wait, what? And then it just happens. Oh, and the classic Catwoman start, back three. Doesn't even need meter. And now we're seeing some corner pressure. Oh, nice whip air to air, but what did he just walk past him? What was that? It looked like his controller was broken. Oh, and this is going to be a big...
I also want to give a huge shout out to NetherRealm's sound design. So when it sounds as though she is actually muffled because of the mask that she has on,
yeah,
and you don't hear her voice as clearly as you normally do. That's a lot of attention to detail.
And that's actually the same for every single character that wears a mask in this game, including Cyborg.
It's just really neat.
Now, of course, it just depends on what gear you have on them. I just love the gear customizations.
And let's be honest, NetherRealm's sound design has always been one of the best.
It has.
Oh, he tried to toss the bike.
Yeah, that is a pretty slow interactable, though. Of course, the trade-off there is that it has a ton of range, and of course, unblockable.
Oh! 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 No, we wanted it so bad!
Almost landed in it, but not quite enough. I wonder if there was anything he could have done. Maybe like canceling the standing one into the like Sonic Disruptor.
What if he did
or Fireball
into it? That would have been cool as hell.
There was probably something, but regardless, he managed to get a pretty good situation out of it. He got out of the corner, and he needs to make the life lead back, but he's got some space.
I mean, he's made a pretty decent comeback as it is.
Oh, just reversal Sonic. That's a weird choice. It's not a very fast startup move, but it is plus unblocked.
That is going to hit. It's still very possible for Flocko to stay in this.
Oh, gets hit by the overhead. Ooh, no bait on the wake up again, throwing out the uppercut.
No whiff punish, and that is going to do it. Krayzie ties it up 2-2 here against Pretty Flocko in the loser's side of top 8.
Flocko choosing not even to clash at the end of that. I think he just assumed that, I mean, Cyborg isn't a huge comeback character, but you might as well try. I mean, you're in a situation like this, you really need the points. Flocko really, really needs
He may not be the biggest comeback character, but it's not impossible for him to make the comeback, because the problem is once you start getting hit by everything he does, you then start to panic. And then couple that with the highest damaging single projectile in the game, normal projectile, with the most amount of chip, and I mean, he can get in your head, and he can definitely do the damage to make the comeback.
He can, and we've seen him do it. He did make a comeback in the game that he did beat Catwoman in, but let's see if he switches.
Aha, I told you! I told you, Evan!
Well, you're right, man. That means you're smarter than me. That's, I think, the official...
No one was arguing that, but that's not even the point here. It goes back to what you were saying as a secondary character, and I told you I saw a lot of Red Hood customization. Don't do me like this.
Oh, he did you like that. Oh, wow. After all that, he switched back. You know, we talk about the commentator's curse, and you are the embodiment of it.
You're not wrong. But see, look.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, Red Hood's a cool character. He probably likes Red Hood a lot. I know we have a lot of Red Hood fans in the community.
Yeah, and Sonic is actually using Red Hood currently to great effect.
He is. We've definitely been seeing him switch around a lot. I'm not sure who he's going to end up sticking with, but we saw him use Red Hood a lot at EVO. All right, now Krayzie's got a pretty strong corner advantage, but this interactable is one of the best get-out-of-jail-free cards. So hard to bait. Or just dashing out of the corner.
I mean, that's...
I have to say, Flocko, being as he is now a zoning player, he is so good at finding those situations to escape. And I say a lot that the true test of a zoner is not how well you can keep somebody out, it's how well you can deal with it once they get in.
True. Yeah, because keeping someone out technically is the easy part, right?
Right, and you're almost never going to win entirely by keeping somebody out. So once you get in there, that's what shows the real difference between a good zoner and a great zoner.
And that's what, in my opinion, and actually, Brian is very similar in this opinion as well, Mr. Comptonius. We both really enjoy watching really good zoners because really good zoners are very impressive and, in my opinion, are fun to watch. When you see a zoner that's just incredibly good at doing it, like it's very impressive because zoning is not easy, believe it or not. To do it well at that level, excuse me.
Right, but when you see the good zoners, that's what they make it look like. They make it look like it's effortless, like there's no answer.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that really gets to you. A lot of times that really, really gets to you, but there is always an answer. sometimes that answer is just meter burn back threes.
That's true.
Or cat dodges. I'm really sad that we're not seeing more cat dodges from Krayzie. It's such an important tool in the matchup. It prevents this massive amount of chip that he's taking. It builds meter for Krayzie. It builds cat scratches for when he gets in. Every single part of that is so important.
And he still could have gotten a little more damage actually off of that if he would have hit something before the drone hit. But it looks like Pretty Flocko could potentially run away with this.
Oh no, gets opened up a second time. This is going to be huge damage. He can no longer
no clash on his side.
So one more mix-up, and Krayzie using maximum meter, but that means he's not going to have meter for his next option. Oh no, he jumped off the alligator. That might have been a mistake. Now he has to get in. He dodges the undodgeable option.
It's not over yet. Still no bar on his side. So close. Oh, what a dodge.
Oh,
and that is it!
Missed it! Unfortunately, misses that last dodge. I'm sure he tried to do it, but he almost made it back in. And that's the thing about Catwoman is he should have been playing like that the entire time. You would have avoided so much chip, and he wouldn't have even been in that situation where he had to avoid every single one or he was going to lose. And Pretty Flocko overcoming that matchup that's relatively tough for Cyborg. Very nice zoning, very nice play. And again, just showing how solid he is. Oh, look at that.
Right over the Doomba. So that actually would have taken him out of the throw animation.
Right, yeah, it would have launched. It would have been most likely a good trade for Cyborg, but very smart smart throw animation by Catwoman. She was smart. She saw it on the ground. She didn't want to touch the ground. The ground is a Doomba, and she flipped around it. So that means that DJT and Pretty Flocko will be in losers semis.
Yep, and they are going to play to see who has the pleasure of facing the loser of Emperor Flappy and Hara Rewind.